A lot of Space Marines, as you can notice really quickly, are really obsessed with like one animal. They take a creature and they form their entire personality on it. You get stuff like, you know, the Raven Guard. I love you, Raven Guard, but like everything is bird. The Space Wolves, where everything has the prefix or suffix of wolf. But the one that's pretty popular, and honestly, in me just being around in the 40k space, the most popular successor character, most talked about successor chapter, that is the Carcharodons, led by Tyberos the Red Wake. A genuinely dope character for the bit we have. He's not a super expansive character, don't expect a giant long video on him. He's not that complicated, he's pretty simple, because there's just not a lot of info. That's what happens when you have two pieces of artwork for him, his mini, and then this art. Be prepared to see these two a lot. I'm sorry, it's all I got. But Tyberos and his boys popped up in Mainstay during the Badab War, where they came in, made a pretty big fucking splash in the fact that they are brutally efficient. Like, oh my god, you point them in a direction, they get shit done. Mostly because of Tyberos, who is a pretty stock character in 40k, hates plans, gets things done, doesn't really want to deal with all this bureaucracy. So far that barely anybody has heard him speak. And this guy is a fucking towering, terrifying giant. He is the size of a Primarch, like 9 feet tall, in special Terminator / Dreadnought armor. His appearance is pretty fucking scary in the fact that he has 2 black, completely black, sunken eyes like that of a shark, and half of his skin on his face is missing, so it's all skeleton. He's like 40k Two-Face, without the, you know, split personality thing. That is at least if you're one of the rare people who've seen him without his helmet. He doesn't take his helmet off, and no one's ever seen him leave his armor. He also never speaks louder than a whisper. It is a quiet voice that somehow carries malicious intent. And also just, it's like those characters who speak really softly and quietly, but everyone hears what they're saying. Their voice carries with its authority. And again, it's because he's fucking terrifying. I'm gonna go like right here. His weaponry is fucking goofy. So he's got 2 giant power fists. On top of those power fists, he's got giant like hooks, dual hook things called Hunger and Slate. They're like power claws, but custom Carcharodon ones to be more hook-like. And then, if that's not gonna kill your enemies enough, underneath the power fist are twin-linked chain swords. So 3 methods of killing you: ripping you apart with hooks, punching you to death, or chainsaw. Which with this guy, he wreaks bloody havoc wherever he goes. He gets the job done. You point him in a direction that he's picked, to be honest. He didn't fully commit to anything, he'll just do what he has to do. This is pretty well encapsulated in the Badab War, which was an event where a bunch of Imperial planets kind of went traitor. They fully went secessionist, wanting to leave. It was a pretty big battle with a lot of Space Marines on both sides. Carcharodons, obviously, on the Loyalist side. And the Carcharodons hit probably the biggest win, with a big fat asterisk next to that win, because they were going to go break the back of the traitors. By doing so, they went to the main hive city on the planet that the traitor force would mainly hit on, and they attacked the reactor. They attacked the giant core reactor that ran everything on this planet, and you know what? They did their job. They killed all the enemies there, they destroyed the reactor, triggered a meltdown, and a meltdown so catastrophic the planet's like cracked, destroying it. This is something they didn't warn everybody that they were going to do, by the way. They just went and did it. And by the time the news came to the Loyalists, there wasn't really enough time to get everybody off. So some Space Marine chapters lost a good chunk of men because the Carcharodons did their own thing. There's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of those chapters hate them for this reason. For as much as this move sucks, don't get me wrong, this was a major dick move, very uncool. It did win the war, like completely shattered the traitor forces. So it worked. That's something. Got it done quicker. And then other than that, again, there's just not a lot other than the fact of, whoa, look at this shark man, he's so cool, isn't he? whoa, that's a lot of the Tyberos love kind of ends there. It's not much else deeper. I will talk about the Carcharodons though. They're very interesting. Their design's really cool. Big fan of it. I think their unique elements are really fun. But like, who are they? There's one particular question when it comes to them. Is their successor chapter, but who are they a successor of? Now, they got their start in M32. They're in one of the earlier foundings. I don't exactly remember which one, but it was this one, the number I'm pointing at right here. These are a possible Raven Guard successor that has been long since forgotten. There are no real records on who they succeeded from, which poses this problem. Reason I think this is because they do genuinely hit one of the main Raven Guard methods of battle. Now, the Raven Guard are often seen as pure stealth, but there's actually 3 main methods of war they do. Long-range sniper fire, hit-and-run assault tactics, like more stealthier White Scars, and full stealth operations. They hit, obviously, the hit-and-run, because Raven Guard also will just fly out of the trees out of nowhere with a jump pack, rip you apart with power claws. That's a thing they like to do. Other than that, they use some terminology that's centered from Horus Heresy era Raven Guard, like the Shade Lord and the Pale Nomad. Those are 2 titles that are specifically from really old Raven Guard. The current ones don't use this. So there's a pretty solid theory that they succeeded and then went off to do their own thing way far away, kept those really old customs while the other Raven Guards moved on. The second one, the one I don't really believe in, and I was digging around, could find no evidence of this, and the timeline makes no sense. There is a theory that these guys are successor to the Night Lords, a loyalist Night Lord successor. This makes no sense, and I think is pure surface level of claws, scary, they rip you apart. No, I mean, just for anyone who might believe this, I'm sorry, but it's the thing of the Night Lords were kind of fucked really early on, because all the cool Night Lords that would have possibly stuck around to stay loyalist died, or were pretty breeded out by the fact of all the Nostramans that came in really early on and completely corrupted the Legion through and through. So there just was no point where a bunch of loyalist Night Lords could dip. There's a pretty core point before the heresy even started where Conrad Kurz notes, like, there's no good members of my Legion left. They're all like this. They're all Nostraman, completely fucked up to the core. So there's just no evidence for this, I'm sorry. But anyways, yeah, quick video, it's gonna wrap it up. I got more coming down the line since I'm finally not sick. And I'm talking about successor chapters a good amount in this video because I got more content relating to that coming up. So stay tuned. So if you like this, like, comment, subscribe, do that YouTube stuff, join my membership, and see ya.